All right, let's dive right in. We're talking about one of the hottest, most brutal fights in the Indian car market, the sub-4-meter SUV space. And what a matchup we have today. In one corner, we've got the brand new tech-packed 2025 Hyundai Venue stepping up as the challenger. And in the other, the reigning, undisputed champion, the Tata Nexon.
So the big question on everyone's mind is this: can all that new tech in the Venue actually dethrone the king? The Nexon has built this fortress, really, on a foundation of safety and pure value. But Hyundai, they're coming in with a full-on tech assault, trying to wow us with premium features. So you know what we're going to do? We're going to break this down round by round and see who comes out on top. Okay, so let's get into their game plans. It's like they have two totally different philosophies. The new Venue, it's all about premium ambition. It wants to make you feel like you're driving something way more expensive. Then you've got the Nexon, which is just the master of all-rounder value. It's about balancing everything: features, safety, price. Two completely different ways to win your money. And you can see their strategies play out the second you look at the price. I mean, the Nexon kicks things off at a super accessible price, really doubling down on that value tag. But the Venue? Whoa, it starts almost 60,000 rupees higher. Right off the bat, it's telling you, hey, I'm the premium choice here. All right, ding, ding, ding. Time for round one: price and practicality. We're starting with the basics, the real nuts and bolts. We're going to see how these two literally measure up side by side.
Okay, so check this out. What's super interesting here is how they both stick to that under 4-meter rule, but they play with this space so differently. They're the exact same length, right down to the millimeter. But the Nexon is just a tiny bit wider, giving it a more planted look. The Venue, though, it's taller and, this is the key, it has a longer wheelbase. And why does that matter? Well, a longer wheelbase usually means a smoother, more stable ride, especially when you're cruising on the highway. But when it comes to the roads we actually drive on, the ones with all the surprises, the Nexon has a massive trump card. Look at that number: 208 millimeters of ground clearance. That is a huge deal. It's 18 millimeters more than the Venue. And trust me, that's the difference between sailing over a pothole and, well, not. It's a real-world advantage for sure. And the Nexon just keeps racking up the points for practicality. It's got 382 liters of boot space. Now, don't get me wrong, the Venue's 375 is perfectly fine. It's very usable. But that little bit of extra space in the Nexon, that could be the difference between fitting that last bag for a family trip or having to leave it behind. It matters.
Okay, moving on. Round two is all about what's under the hood. We're talking power, performance, and maybe most importantly for a lot of us, how far you can go on a single tank of fuel. Let's get into it. So both cars give you plenty of choices: petrol, diesel, you name it. But this is where their secret weapons come out. The Venue has something that's become super rare and a lot of people are looking for: a proper diesel automatic. We're talking a smooth torque converter, which is just fantastic for city driving, no jerky gear shifts. But the Nexon, it pulls a totally different move. It offers a factory-fitted turbo CNG. That's a huge deal for anyone who wants to keep running costs crazy low but doesn't want to drive something sluggish. It's a real game changer. Now, when you look at the official mileage numbers, things get really spicy. The Venue's diesel manual is great, no doubt, clocking in at almost 21 kilometers per liter. But then you see the Nexon's diesel AMT, and it's a jaw-dropping 24.08. That's a huge difference. It just goes to show how obsessed Tata is with getting every single last bit of efficiency out of their engines. Okay, let's step inside for round three, the cabin. This is where you can really feel the personality of these cars. Are we looking at a straight-up tech fest or more of a stylish design statement? And man, the Venue comes out swinging on the tech front. I mean, dual 12.3-inch panoramic screens. That stuff you see in cars that cost twice as much. Plus, you get ventilated seats and a Bose sound system. It just screams premium. The Nexon is still very modern, but its focus is different. It's more about style, The screens are beautifully integrated. It has that cool touch panel for the AC. It's less about having the biggest screen and more about making the whole cabin feel like a cohesive, well-designed space. All right, now we get to what might be the most important round of all. Round four, safety. And honestly, this is where you see a huge difference in their whole philosophy. It's new age tech versus old school proven strength. So Hyundai is betting big on ADAS. That's Level 2 Advanced Driver Assistance Systems. The whole idea here isn't just about what happens in a crash. It's about using smart technology like cameras and sensors to be your co-pilot and stop you from even getting into a crash in the first place. This is stuff that, until very recently, was only on super high-end luxury cars. And this isn't just some basic cruise control. We're talking smart cruise that can handle stop-and-go traffic for you. It'll help keep you in your lane, and it's constantly watching ahead to warn you about and even help you avoid a potential collision. It's all about proactive safety, trying to prevent the accident before it happens. So what's the Nexon's response to all that tech? Well, it's simple, it's powerful, and it's proven. The Nexon doesn't just talk about being safe, it's got the receipts to prove it. This thing is built like a tank, and the crash test ratings back that up big time. I mean, this is the Nexon's legacy, right? A 5-star rating, and not just from global NC Cape, but from our own super tough Barrett NC Cape as well. It's got 6 airbags and stability control as standard on every model. The focus here is crystal clear. If the worst does happen, this car is designed to protect you. That kind of verified, tested safety gives you a peace of mind that's just hard to put a price on. So this really brings it all down to a question for you. What do you value more? Do you trust the smart tech that's trying to help you avoid the crash altogether? Or do you put your faith in a rock-solid structure that's been proven to save lives when a crash actually happens? There's really no wrong answer. It's all about what gives you more confidence behind the wheel. Okay, let's step away from the spec sheets for a second and get a dose of reality. What are actual owners saying? We found this comment from a Venue owner on Reddit who just loves it. Calls it versatile, great in the snow, loves the big screen, and most importantly, says it's been problem-free for over 40,000 kilometers. That's exactly the story Hyundai wants you to hear. But then, you have the other side of the story, and this one is pretty serious. Another owner on Reddit had a completely different experience, a catastrophic engine failure that needed a whole new engine. It's a pretty stark reminder that all the fancy screens and features in the world don't matter if the core mechanicals aren't reliable in the long run. So, after all that, where does that leave us? It's time for the final verdict. But look, we're not going to tell you which one to buy. That's your call. What we can do is sum it all up to help you figure out which of these SUVs is the right one for you. So, who should pick the 2025 Hyundai Venue? Well, you should go for the Venue if you're all about the latest and greatest tech. If you want those huge screens and a cabin that feels like it's from a more expensive car. If a super smooth diesel automatic is a must-have on your list. And finally, if you're a believer in ADAS technology and how it can make driving safer. If that's you, the Venue is probably your car. And what about the Tata Nexon? The Nexon is the right choice if a proven 5-star safety rating is your absolute top priority. No compromises. If you need that high ground clearance for our unpredictable roads. If the idea of a turbo CNG for super low running costs sounds amazing to you. And if you're just looking for a tough, do-it-all SUV that perfectly balances features and value. If that's what you're after, the Nexon is your champion. So there you have it. It's a classic clash of ideas, isn't it? A battle of priorities. So which way are you leaning? Do you go for the tech-forward challenger, the Hyundai Venue, or do you stick with the value-driven, tough-as-nails champion, the Tata Nexon? The battle is over. Now, the choice is yours.